Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been a while. I hope you are enjoying your weekend and ready for some tiny bits of ServiceNow knowledge. Today, I would like to touch a relatively simple, however, sometimes confusing topic, which is uploading files to ServiceNow platform using PowerShell. Normally, when I would like to address such task, I would first go looking for a solution or maybe some ideas in community, then probably product documentation. However, as I more or less know what I am going to do and that there will be APIs involved, I will then open my PDI, search myself for a test record. In this case, we will gonna use this incident, which is available as a part of your demo data. Then I will open REST API Explorer and find myself an appropriate API. In this case, I already know that this will be attachment API, which allows us to upload an attachment from a binary request. So basically, we are going to send a post request using invoke REST API method in commandlet in PowerShell. But before we do this, let's imagine that I have no idea how to work with PowerShell. I just know that it is pre-installed in my Windows OS device, assuming that I'm using a Windows OS device. So I would like to explore my options here. And the first what I see is that I can already play around a little bit by preparing the request. For that, I just need to specify a table name. I already know this will be incident. I already know the sysid of my record. I can copy it from here using right-click context menu and then copy sysid. And then let's just give it some random name, attachment CSV. I'm going to send an attachment, so I need to specify a request format as a content type, text CSV. And now down below in the request body section, I can actually build a request body, either using a builder, which will allow me to configure the request field by field, or I can use a raw. For our purpose, the raw is enough. Or I can use a binary, which will allow me to attach a file from my local system, right? However, if I click binary, I see that there are not that many code samples provided. I only see the C URL, and we still remember that I have no idea how to use PowerShell, right? I need some guidance. And how can we overcome this obstacle? First of all, let's just try how it works. What happens if I specify it as a raw, like the single line text, or maybe let's put 3 lines here. And what happens if I press send? I need to confirm, and then I will get, all right, 201 created. That means that there is something happening. Oh, right, it happened. We have an attachment CSV file attached to our record. Let's check it out. Okay, come on. Please react. All right, and we can see that attachment was generated and the content is exactly as how we specified it. Perfect. Now, let's go back. Let's remove it. So make the plate clean again for our future testings. And now, let's figure it out what we need to do exactly so that not a raw text coming is is being uploaded, but the actual file that we specify in our local script. But again, where do we get the script? And we can get it from here, because on the raw page and the builder page, you will get more options in a code sample. So let's copy the snippet from PowerShell. I have already copied it to my IDE. However, if you are new to to PowerShell world and maybe to IDEs as well, you can use the predefined Windows PowerShell ISE, or you can also use, as me, Visual Studio Code. Now let's copy it as and then jump to the Visual Studio Code. So here you can see I have made a tiny modification at the very top, which is only to hide the actual user credentials. The dot allows me to connect another PowerShell file to this file by providing a simple path. So, and then the content of this file as well as this content will be considered as one. So I'm hiding credentials there. Now, quickly to explain what is happening here. For authentication reason, right, we need to have, and also to specify the request configuration for the ServiceNow, we need to provide the authorization information. So what kind of information are we going, and what kind of format of answer are we going to expect from ServiceNow? We can use, this is this line where we specify what we would like to accept, right? We can use application JSON or application XML, for example. And then there is a content type which specifies what our request is going to be look like. So, and we know that we are sending text CSV, so we will keep it as a text CSV. So now we also have down below an actual URI. This is how we are going to consume the endpoint provided by ServiceNow. As you can see here, we are accessing API, attachment API. We are going to upload file with the following parameters: table name, table sysid, which is the sysid of the record in the table, and the file name. Let's modify it a little bit so that we can extract the changeable parts from this URI. I'm going to create a configuration section where I can save all this stuff in a separate variables. All right, now let's modify the actual URI. And down below here, let's continue. We need to specify a method. If we want to get information from the server, we could specify a get here. If we need to post something or send something in terms of and create something, then we gonna need to use post methods. You can read about the different methods we use while making API calls on the product documentation side. I will not stay here because it's a different thing. So in this case, we're going to use post. And then, as you remember, we were sending the raw text in the body. And here, how we can, how it looks like in the script. Let's test if this whole thing works as is with our setup, so that the REST API call is actually works. Now let's just run this script. Okay, it was done. Now let's come back here. Let's check, let's open the CSV. Come on. Yeah, so as we can see, it worked. Perfect. All right, so now what should we actually do to upload not a raw value, right, which we can specify here directly in the script, but actually a script? How can we put a content of a file or a binary of a file to this body, right, variable, which then will be used as a request body? As a, how to say, PowerShell user, I know that probably there is a commandlet which can help me to do this. If not, I will probably access a manual for PowerShell and try to search something that may help me. And one of the first thing that may pop up will be probably the get content commandlet, which can allow me to specify a path for the file, which I know is located in ctemp attachments incident list CSV. And this commandlet basically should capture the content of this file, save it to body, and then we will be able to use it as a request. So let's try it. Now let's run it. Okay, it worked. Let's come here. We have another attachments here. So let us just delete the first one. We can download it. I can open the file, and now let's read it with the... I actually opened the wrong one, so sorry, I actually deleted the wrong one. Let's just remove all of them. Now let's push it again. It's there. Reload. Now download. And now let's check the file. All right, so we have something, but that's not what we were looking for, because it looks like it was captured as a single line, and it doesn't really what we want, because we want to capture the structure of the CSV, where each element represents each element is saved line by line. So that's not what we want. If you look into the reference for the PowerShell get content commandlet, then you will be able to see a parameter which called raw, which will allow us to get a raw representation of the file and not as a single string rather than line by line. Now we can come here again to our record, delete all the older attachments, make sure that we have all clean, and let's push it again. All right, something happened. Let's go back, reload. We have attachment here. Let's download it. And let's try to open it. All right, that looks better. We can see that the structure of the CSV file was preserved. And we may think, that's it, job is done, I am the hero of the day, but not that fast. Let's try and work with get content and the image. Let's open our CSV. I have also already prepared an image file there. It's called image PNG. Let's change the name of the attachment, and let's try and push it again. And you can see we have bad request. You may ask, why is that? Because it was working fine with CSV. The thing is that the getContent commandlet is designed to read text or CSV files, and it tries to basically, when it tries to read a content of a file, it tries to also convert it to string, and it cannot do it with the PNG. And this is the problem. Oh, sorry, I forgot to specify the right image type. Sorry, content type. Maybe this was the reason. Let's try. I know it's not. Yeah, so what can we do? How can we overcome this particular problem? The thing is that in PowerShell version 5, you cannot do this with a native commandlet. If you are aware and already a user of a PowerShell version 7, you can use a following parameter, which is called AsByteStream, and it allows a more native interaction with the files using the commandlets and the parameters. However, version 7.1 or 7.2 and any other versions, they are currently available only as a standalone product. So that means that you have to install it separately, and after that you will have this feature available. If you don't want to do this, or if you do not have any opportunity to do this, we can try and do something else. As you know, the ServiceNow, PowerShell was built based on the .NET framework, and .NET is a very powerful framework which has a lot of different APIs which allow us to work with the operating system. And one of those APIs has the following method, which is called ReadAllBytes, and this is how you can access it. The only thing you need to specify here is the path to the actual file, as we already know that it resides in attachments. And this operation, this method, will get byte array in terms of .NET, or a binary representation of the actual file saved into this variable, without trying to convert it to a string. It will save it, capture it as is. And now if we hit run, the image should be properly uploaded. Let's check it. You see, no bad requests anymore. Let's check the record. And you can already see that the attachment was successfully posted in our record and available here. So this is basically how you can use PowerShell to upload any kinds of data from your particular system. I'm not sure why the similar code was not included into the code sample section. Probably it should be included there, or maybe there was another reason for that. However, I hope this will help you in some case, and I wish you a nice rest of the day. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.